Concordia is a trading game. Oh, okay. But you can't trade with any of the other players. Wait, huh? Welcome to Rest and Reason. I'm RP the Red Panda, and today we're going to be doing my Concordia House Rules. This video is all about those little areas where Concordia just doesn't seem to quite get things right. But first, let's go ahead and look at what is Concordia. Well, Concordia is a game where the best strategy comes down to getting the gods synergized, putting the gods together in a unique combination based off of what the game puts in front of you to get the most points from your game. Its genre is Eurogame, and it's a Eurogame because it's trying to go between being interactive and being you in charge of your own game. So it's right here. And it has very minimal amounts of luck so that it's highlighting these two areas. The main mechanic of the game is resource management. Now, resource management is one that we see in a lot of things, but this game really highlights it because it's all about you getting the resources from places, then transforming those resources into money, maybe other resources, or just leaving them the same, and then using those resources to build your empire to get more resources. The main feel of this game is a business empire. You're going to try to be building this sprawling empire of business, and you have to think through what people you can send where, just like a project manager has to send out their people, which is really exciting and fun. But it doesn't have as much of a trade feel as the game's title would insinuate. So, even though this game is a top 100 Board Game Geek game, and I'd give it a golden recliner, I do think it needs a few tweaks, which I'll talk about in a minute. But if you're enjoying this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and keep watching this video. Now to our house rules. We have two main groups of house rules. Our first one has to be about thematic colonization. In the original game, the colonization wasn't real thematic. So I tried to make it more thematic by changing the two cards that have to do with colonization. First, we have the Architect card. The Architect card now does the following. It takes one of your people for every two of your colonists that you own, that you have taken off of your supply, and uses that many. So if you had 6, you would get to use 3, or in this case, if you have the starting 2, you'd get to use 1. You'll take that and place it on any city where you have a building or in Rome. So in this case, it's the beginning of the game, and we place it in Rome. Then you'll move it just like you would in the normal game, except that you're going to be moving by cities instead of by lines. So ultimately, you're going to be moving to just one city, and you can only build in that particular city. The Colonist card works as follows. With the Colonist card, you, instead of getting to buy a colonist anywhere, which is kind of how these new rules work anyway, you get to move all of your colonists on the turn. So in this case, at the start, you would be able to move 2 colonists instead of just 1 colonist. You then get to move them in the normal way and build in the normal way. So colonist card actually helps you colonize things, unlike before where it only bought you colonists. All of this enhances the theme of the game by making it so that going from one place to another, like colonists actually do, is exactly how the system works, without changing much of the fundamentals of the game. All of this also increases the value of Mars, because in the original game, because you could build on 2 different spaces per colonist, it made it so that getting more colonists often wasn't necessary if you planned things out well. Whereas now, to be able to spread out, you'll probably want to get all of your colonists, because getting all of them still only lets you build 3 things on a turn. Our next change is on trade. Now you can trade with other players at any time. Thematically, this just makes sense. You're already in the city of Rome, you already have your storehouses there, so you'd obviously be able to trade with Joe Schmo down the street and not just with the market. But the important thing here is that it also increases the value of things like specialist cards. Because in the original game, the specialist cards, although valuable for getting points at the end, didn't always do that much during the game, because getting a massive pile of one resource often wasn't very helpful. But now that you can trade with other players, instead of playing a Mercator card, you might be able to trade with other players and get what you need and give them what they need, and thereby be able to be more efficient in your game while going for a strategy of maybe focusing on brick, which in the original game would be crazy because it's so low in money and just all around wouldn't be really worth it, but now it would be. So the original score is a 4.08 out of 5, which is a golden recliner. It's a game I highly recommend that any collection would benefit from having. If you want a good, solid game, this is the one for you. And it's a great replacement for Catan, because especially with my house rule about trading, it basically is going to have all of the things that you love about Catan with none of the drawbacks. But with my house rules, this game gets a 4.28 out of 5. Now, you notice that's a very small increase because ultimately this game starts off really strong. But I do truly believe that this makes the game more thematic and a little bit more balanced, even though it was excellent to begin with. Comment your house rules down in the comments. Let us know, not just me, but the whole group of people watching this, what you do to make this game more fun, so hopefully we can have more fun in the future. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button to help send out this more and more, so more and more people get to enjoy this content and hopefully enjoy games more. Lastly, if you have even $1 a month that you could send towards our Patreon, it would help us continue our mission to help people enjoy and think through games more. And as always, thank you so much for joining us today on Rest and Reason.